Hello, everybody. It's Lottie here, and we're with the wonderful
Marcus Callender.
Marcus Callender. Marcus, how you doing today?
Man, I am. It's funny because, all my friends been asking me, like, "How you feeling? How you feeling?" I'm like, "Yo, I don't even know how to answer that question." I feel like a chicken running around with his head cut off. You know what I'm saying? There's a gift that I keep sending them of I forget the actor, but he's like, that's how I feel. But no, I feel good. I'm excited. This has been a long time coming. So it just feels good to be here and, launching Spades.
Launching Spades. Yeah. So yes, we're here to talk about Spades. But you're someone who's had a long journey in entertainment.
Absolutely.
A lot of folks know you from Power, from Wu-Tang.
Right.
So how do you go from acting in those kinds of roles to now writing and directing?
Okay. Well, I've been working on this play for about 10 years. I started writing this play in 2015. I was inspired because at the time I was learning how to play with my friends because I didn't know how to play. So I was learning how to play, and what I thought was interesting was I always felt like the I want to say chaos of it all was more interesting than the game. You know what I mean? Like when I would watch my friends play or try to teach me and stuff, I would always think to myself, like, yo, this should be a play. Like I could sit and watch people play spades all day. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of drama in it.
The game is drama in and of itself.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So that's kind of what inspired me. But the characters, are all based off of people from my life. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like combining the two. You know what I mean? Gotcha. So like when I started writing it, before I started writing it, writing was something I've always wanted to dabble in. I had imposter syndrome for a long time.
Man, it's a real thing.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, for me, I'm big on like, you got to have training and, you know what I mean? Because I went to acting school. So it's like, for me, it's like, well, how dare I call myself a writer if I didn't go to school for it? Obviously, I don't think that way now. But at the time, it was just kind of like, I was kind of at arm's length with it. Even when I was in high school, I was never excited to write an essay. I was never, like, when it came to writing, I just wasn't into it. I did have a teacher, shout out to Ms. Bauman. She kind of encouraged, first of all, in her class, we always just read plays. You know what I mean? That was kind of like the launching pad for acting for me. That's when I first kind of discovered, like, okay, I could do this.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ms. Bauman.
Yeah.
But also too, like, when she would assign us things to write about or like, writing assignments, I remember saying like, I just want to, like, I feel like there's this formula, like you have to subscribe to, and it's like, that doesn't feel like me. So I was always like, I just kind of want to just write something that feels like myself. So when I started doing it, she very much encouraged that. And when I did that, like, I was getting better grades on my essays and stuff.
Yeah.
So, it was always something that just kind of like been in the back of my mind. Cause for me, I feel like, I have all these stories in my head, or I have all these ideas about like, yo, that would be a dope play. You know what I mean? Or that would be a cool movie. I do have, TV stuff that I've written or that I want to work on.
We don't want to talk for that.
Yes, because I do have some stuff. But theater is like my first love. So for me, like, writing a play first felt right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, certain things work better on stage than they do on camera. And I feel like, Spades works great on stage. It works great on screen. It works great as an audio book.
Yeah.
But
are all those things coming?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But I wanted it, I did a reading in LA once, and everyone was like, this should be a TV show. This has to be on TV. I'm like, of course y'all saying this should be on TV in LA, of course. And of course I want to do that, but I need to see it on stage first, because that's, the original way I wanted to see it. So, like for a while I was kind of battling with it, but like when I started writing it, it kind of just like, it poured out of me. You know what I mean? Like you know, and anyone that's a writer knows that that doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like writer's block is a real thing.
Too real.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, but in the journey, so like when I first wrote it, it was just a one act. And I did a reading of it in 2015 at this place called the Kimberly Project in Brooklyn. And I did the reading. Everyone loved it. They were like, we want more. Like, there has to be more. And I was like, okay, yeah, this could be a full length thing. And then, you know, I ended up filming something and then kind of just got caught into that. So I never really went back to it. I didn't touch it for like 2 years. Like I didn't touch the script at all for 2 years because I didn't know where to take the story or how to write anymore. I didn't know. On top of that, you know, I was just kind of lost in the sauce with filming and all of that type of stuff. So I just kind of put it to the side a little bit. But that doesn't mean you're not still writing. You know what I'm saying? You could be writing without literally writing.
Right. Because you're living too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Living. So that's my next point. I moved to LA and, you know, so when I first wrote the character Nefertiti, being from LA, you know, at that point I probably only been to LA maybe twice. So I didn't know LA culture like that. You know what I'm saying? But I moved to LA and it allowed me to like we working, y'all. It allowed me to really expand on that character. You know what I mean? To give her a little more details or a little more nuance. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if it wasn't for moving to LA, like Neff wouldn't be the character that she is.
Well, tell us more about the characters that we have in this story. So we've got Nefertiti, we've got Gil, we've got Andre, and we've got Corey. Yes. Which is spelled with an I, interestingly. Yes. Maybe there's something to that. But tell me more about building these characters.
Okay. So Gil is based off of one of my best friends to this day. Andre is based off of myself. Corey is based off of ex-girlfriend of mine. I mean, yes.
Is she gonna be able to find out it's about her when she watches
this? You know, it might be a little triggering. I mean, like, it's not just her. It's based off of like the scenario that happens in the play is based off of what happened between her and I. The character herself is based off of somebody that I know from DC.
Gotcha. So it's like an amalgamation of things.
Exactly. Nefertiti is based off of a culmination of women that I've dated as well. One being in LA. So yeah, that's how that.
LA will do that to you. So I'm not mad at it.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's funny because we had spoken about her earlier. Spades is drama.
It is.
Right? It's drama even if you can't play. It's actually sometimes even more dramatic when you can't play because they're like, you can't play Spades. Right? So tell us a little bit more about the premise of this story.
Okay. I mean, we'll keep it simple. It's about a group of friends that get together on a Friday night in Harlem. Play takes place in 2013, by the way. That's something else.
Okay, so pre-pandemic setting, very important.
Very important. And specifically Harlem. I feel like Harlem was like a different vibe.
Yeah, gentrification was looking different then. Was looking real different than LADIDAI.
Gentrification! For real. I mean, you know, if you know Harlem, there was a spot right here on 125th called Lenox Lounge. That was like the jazz spot. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a Wells Fargo. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's crazy.
It hurts my heart.
Exactly. The play actually takes place 5 blocks from here. Like where they are in the play is 5 blocks from here. So, it's about a group of friends that get together on a Friday night to play some spades and shit just goes a little left. You know what I mean? You got the liquor flowing, you got the weed going, and, you know, certain lines get crossed. All whilst a spade game is happening. So, yeah.
Can't give it too much away because you got to come see it.
But exactly. But also, too, like, if you know spades, you know. We working, y'all. We working. If you know spades, you know that, like, shit happens. Shit goes down.
It gets real.
It gets real. Yeah. Sometimes the game doesn't even finish.
There's levels to it, right? Because people play blackjack and people play Uno, but there's something about spades where the tensions rise.
Right, exactly.
Real bad. And can you tell me a story about a Spades game that really sticks with you? Because Spades games, they can change your life.
They can. A Spade game that really stick with me. I mean, I'll say this. When I moved to LA, you know, there was a part of me that was gonna like let it go to play. Because, you know, for me, I was just like, I don't know if I'm inspired to like continue writing it. And, you know, at the time, like I was, you know, really trying to, you know, expand my acting career and all this other shit.
And did.
And I did, you know, thank God. But at the same time, like I just wasn't, I didn't feel like it was anything worth going back to. You know what I'm saying? And then I went to this party at Tracy Tom's house. And as soon as I walked in, they were playing Spades. And it was exactly like, you know, the dramatic game that we know.
It's like watching a movie. You know?
Exactly. I walked in and they just, how much books you got? And instantly I was like, okay, I gotta tap back into Spades. Because also at the time I wasn't working on anything, so I was just I had a lot of downtime. I was pretty depressed because I wasn't working.
LA,
you know what I mean? LA would do that to you. LA would do that to you because it's like you're feeling all these things, but the weather's still beautiful. Like that'll F you up. Can I curse?
Yeah.
Okay, that'll fuck you up. So, but I walked in and I was like, okay. It was like, okay, now I got something to do. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, that's another thing too. Like Spades has kind of been my lifeline.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I walked in, I saw that, I said, okay, cool, I gotta tap back in. I literally went home the next day, I opened the script up and I just read it. And I said, okay, I gotta hear this out loud to see where to go with this. So I called some actors up, shout out to those actors that came. And we read the play, and it was just it was long as hell. It was a lot of pages.
When you're inspired and it's just pouring out.
It's just pouring out. Like it was bleh. But they read all the pages. Yeah. So for me, it was like I was able to hear it and then figure out, okay, where I want to take it.
Yeah.
I have a friend named Azania who I had her read it, and you know, she gave me some really great advice in terms of how to shape it. She told me, she was like, I want to know who these characters are before the game starts. Because the way it was starting before, like it started like right into the game.
Yeah.
So she was like, I want to know who these characters are before. I said, yeah, that's a good idea. So I remember I went to Venice Beach, took a little walk on the beach, had some weed, you know, I was smoking and shit, you know, just kind of getting in my zone. Then I found this little cafe after, pulled the laptop out, and that's how I started writing the opening scene. I just started writing that, and then it poured out of me. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, Corey shows up. Next thing you know, Andre shows up. Next thing you know, Neff shows up. And I was like, you know, just writing the shit. And then I remember leaving the cafe, and I looked up, and there was a big spade symbol on it. I didn't even see that when I walked in. I said, wow, that's crazy. I have a picture of it in my phone.
Listen, the universe is incredible sometimes because it will give you signs. Some signs more clear than others.
Yes.
That's a pretty clear sign.
Absolutely. So I was just like, oh shit, okay. So I was working on it. Then I ended up having a reading of like whatever the new version was. That went really well. Then next thing you know, I'm in New York. I was doing a play out here, and then from that I started shooting Wu-Tang. So like, it's like every time I'm like, okay, like let me tap into this. Some work will pop up. You know what I'm saying?
Which, you know, isn't a bad thing. But
it's not a bad thing. It is not a bad thing, but at the same time too, you know, it was all a part of the journey. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like through doing the play that I did, or through doing Wu-Tang, it's allowed me to connect with a lot of people who have been useful for me now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, you know, now I feel like, you know, given the state of the industry, like work is just a lot more scarce. There's not a lot of work available. Now it's all about what you create.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which, in my opinion, is not a bad thing.
And this is true across the board in entertainment and media. It's just like you know, they say there's no money. There's money, just don't be going to the right place.
Right.
But you can't sit and wait for an opportunity, right? You got to create it for yourself. But also, creating isn't free.
It's not. It's not.
Not in terms of time, not in terms of energy, not in terms of money.
Right.
So when you're putting on a production like this, where you got to pay people, you got to do this and that.
Exactly.
How do you make it happen?
God.
Won't he do it?
No, I'm dead ass. That I give all glory to God. God, because if you knew the kind of things that, you know, was able to get done in order for this production to happen, man, like it's only God. And you know, like even this space, you know, my friend Milton owns this
beautiful space.
Yeah, I love it. And you know, Milton, really good friend of mine. I've known him for years. And before he got this space, like I was telling him, like, yo, I want to, because he's really big on like having artists come and, you know, poetry and all that kind of stuff. So I was telling him, I was like, yeah, I want to do a reading of Spades. And I've been telling him that for years. He's like, let's do it. And it's just the timing was never right. And then last year we did a reading of Spades here. It went great. It rained that day too. But we still had a packed house.
Hello. And will tonight.
Yes. And, you know, so we did that reading and I was like, nah, this is a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, I wanted the audience to feel like they're right in the living room with these characters. I want y'all to feel like y'all are right there. It's cozy in here. It's real cozy in here, but I think there's something really incredible and special about that.
Yeah.
And communal. You know what I mean? Like we it's okay to touch each other. We gotta, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we gotta get back to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like COVID and made us all, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we gotta, especially nowadays, we gotta unite more than ever. And I feel like there's something cool about being that close and watching some actors work. It's like being courtside at a basketball game.
And you're actually, in some ways, in the game.
You're in the game. You know what I'm saying? So, so being able to, so when we did it last year, it was just like a reading, but I was like, yo, like, what if we just did the production here? You know what I'm saying? Because like there was other venues I was interested in, because before I like really locked in on this space, you know, like, you know, I was thinking, you know, what theater I can go to.
Yeah, you want stages.
Right. But I think there's something special about doing it like this, because I feel like this brings us back to the essence of what theater is and what storytelling is. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like right now everyone's attracted to the bright lights. Everyone wants to be on Broadway, and you know that's cool and all, but like I haven't seen a good Broadway show in a long time.
Hot take.
In a very, very, very long time. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's a reason why you have those classic shows that
it's like how many times are we gonna do these? How many times are we gonna do these same shows, and how many times am I gonna see the same actors doing the same? Like, I want to see new faces. I want to hear fresh stories. You know what I'm saying? But not only that, I'm talking specifically us, Black people.
Hello.
I want to hear our stories. I want to see us on stage, new faces.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the same people.
I had seen on your Instagram when you were talking about the show, you were just like, if we don't support each other, who's gonna?
If we don't do it, who gonna do it? They ain't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And it, you know, and I think it's a matter of, like people, it's the perception. It's the perception of like, if I do this, then that means yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? We spending, how much them Broadway tickets are? Crazy dollars to sit for 2 hours and fall asleep. Come on. So, you know, for me, I'm like, nah, fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? Let's bring it back to the essence. Let's bring it back to the root of storytelling. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we're doing with Spades. It's yes, the play is a great play, but it's bigger than the play. You know what I mean? The message is, you know, we can do it. We don't have to wait on them. We don't have to wait on them.
Community is so important. And it's true both obviously in this story.
I'm wearing multiple hats.
In the trenches, doing the damn thing.
But there's something beautiful about that's my brother too, by the way.
Real life?
Like my real life
blood brother.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I got family involved. You know what I'm saying? We could do it ourselves. You know what I mean? It just takes that. It just takes that extra effort. It just takes that extra step to be like, you know what? All right, cool. You know, like not everything not what Denzel said, not all money is good money or something like that. You don't have to be paid to do a good deed all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Because guess what? Karma really works. That stuff comes right back to you. You know what I mean? I've done things like I'm someone who, like, you know, if I love you, if I care about you, I'm doing it. You don't have to pay me. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying? If I love you, if I care about you, if I want to see you win, I'm showing up, and I'm showing up as if you're paying me. I'm not gonna half-ass it.
That's a real thing. Just being actually invested.
Invested. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, that's even how I went about putting the team together, putting the cast together. Like, everything had to feel organic.
Yeah.
Anything that felt forced, or if it bothered my, you know, I'm a very intuitive person.
And you gotta trust it.
You have to trust it.
Because when you don't,
it backfires. And it happens every time. Every single, it's like, because how many times have we said, like, damn, I knew I should have. I knew I should have.
We always know.
But we don't listen to that because that voice is God being like, nah, you don't want to do that. You know what I mean? So I decided, I said, you know what? No, I'm going to really listen to that and trust that. It gets scary sometimes because, you know, sometimes, you know, maybe time is of the essence. Maybe, you know, you need something, but it's like, let me just be patient.
Can't rush greatness.
You can't rush great. 10 years? This took me 10 years just to do this. So you can't rush it. But then also, too, obviously hindsight is 2020. Now I realize why it took me why it took so long.
Because you needed those experiences to tell the story.
Exactly. And I needed the relationships that I had, that I built. You know what I'm saying?
And that comes down to community, y'all.
Community. It's important.
That's why I also love that you're doing this in Harlem.
Yes. The play takes place in Harlem. I used to live in Harlem. So it's like,
me too.
You know, for me.
In cheaper times.
Yes. Exactly. I'm from Brooklyn though, you know, Brooklyn all day. But I used to live in Harlem. So like every time I come up here, I'm like, yo, I'm in my old stomping ground.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I had to do it in Harlem. It takes place in Harlem. I feel like, you know, Harlem also has somewhat of a, you know, a magical quality. You know, think of like Harlem Renaissance.
Yes.
You know, so that's, you know, like, fuck a Broadway.
Right. And Harlem, despite gentrification, it's still black.
Yes.
Black.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we right in the heart of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's perfect.
I absolutely love that. And I want to hear more about, so you had posted the casting call in August.
I did.
We are in October.
Yeah.
How in the hell was you able to make everything happen in 2 months?
God. For real. I mean, shout out to Black Theater Tribe. They posted the submission for me, and I got a lot of submissions. A lot of people submitted, whether they wanted to play Nefertiti or, you know, if there were any other roles available. Fun fact. So when I put that casting call out, it was for Nefertiti because I had the other roles cast already based off of like other actors I've worked with. But unfortunately, you know, they had to drop out due to other things. So, you know, in that happening, I was like, I gotta cast this whole shit. Oh my God, I gotta cast this. You know, I went from only needing to find one actor. Now I gotta find a, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But at the same time too, what I knew that I wanted to go with, you know, fresh faces, you know, new talent. I don't want to work with people who I see all the time. Yeah. You know, and these are my friends. I know them. Yeah. Shout out to them. But I want to see new faces, you know, because if we're telling stories and seeing the same actors over and over again, the stories don't feel fresh.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like I just seen this actor in that other play. And now they're here again, you know, giving me the same kind of version that they gave me in the other.
It's like fatigue, you know?
Yes. So I knew I wanted fresh faces. So that kind of made the search a little harder because, you know, I'm casting the net out to everybody. But I got a lot of submissions. So I had a lot of options to pick from. So that was a beautiful thing. And, you know, we had the callbacks here because I wanted people to come and see the space.
Right.
Like, this is what we're doing.
Right.
It's not a theater.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we are doing it right here. But no, people came and, you know, there were some really great actors that came. But like, just in terms of how I put it together, I went with my gut. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, even the guy that's playing Andre, who plays me, he was somebody who he auditioned, But at the time I already had an Andre. So he auditioned. I saw his tape, and I was like, oh, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
It's not me now.
You know what I'm saying? No, because for me it's just, like, I like to, like everyone who's submitted, I had them tell me what their favorite album of all time is, because for me that's gonna give me an idea of your personality. Yes. I don't want nobody coming in here acting. I want to know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And if I feel like that who you are and that vibe fits what I want for the character, I'm gonna go with that. So, I wasn't mad at the tape. So I said, you know what? For these callbacks, I need a reader, and I wanted the person playing Andre to be reading, because this is where Nefertiti and Corey auditioned. So I'm like, I need my Andre to read with these characters. And I hit him up, I said, look, can you come and be a reader? I paid him for the first session, courtesy, of course. He came, he was on time. The first thing he said when he came in, he said, yo, I love this play. I said, really? He said, yo, I feel like you wrote me. Like, I feel like this is me. I said, okay, good to know, word. And then, I'm a big astrology person. I said, what's your sign? He said, I'm a Pisces. I said, get the fuck out of here. I'm a Pisces.
Wait, okay. What month?
March.
Is he March too?
He's February.
Okay, it's all right. We don't forget that.
Right, exactly. Are you a Pisces too?
No, I'm a Virgo. We sister signs.
Okay, yes, we are. Oh, y'all Virgos, boy.
Hey, don't do it. Don't do it.
A lot about y'all this year, boy. Anyway, so, but when that's the first time that's happened. In all the readings I've done, I've never had another Pisces be an Andre. So I'm like, okay. So, we did the callback. It went great. I loved his energy. We also lived like 10 minutes away from each other. So I gave him a ride home. We talked. And then, so for the other callback session, I said, yo, can you come back and do this callback? I can't pay you this time. For me, that was a test to see how committed you are. I said, I can't pay you this time. He said, yo, that's no problem. I'll be there. Came back on time, ready to go, as if I was paying. So I was like, okay, cool. And then in the callbacks, I was going based off of the chemistry. He didn't know that.
Yeah,
but in the back of my head, I'm like, let me see.
Everything's an audition, even when it's not.
Even when it's not. That's something to know. So when someone hits you up to be a reader for something and you feel like you too to be a reader, that's not a good way to think. So, he came, we did the callbacks. The callback went great again. And then, he told me the story about how he even connected with us. Oh. You know what I mean? Our stage manager, he wasn't even our stage manager at the time. Community. So Derrick is his name, who's playing Andre. He was at a party, and, our stage manager is also a filmmaker. And he was at this party with a camera, and Derrick told me, he was like, yo, something just told me to go up to him and tell him that he's an actor and all this other stuff. So literally the next day, Jaffe, our stage manager, contacted Eddie, one of our producers, and told him like, yo, we kind of have somebody that'd be good for one of the roles. Yeah. So it just kind of like, it was just, you know what I'm saying? So, and I didn't know this yet. So when he was telling me this in the car, I said, all of this stuff he's telling me, like, I'm like, oh, that's God right there. That's I understand how to recognize when he's present in something. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay.
Becomes very clear.
Exactly. So I was like, okay. Cause this is his first play. So,
it's his first play.
This is his first play.
What a debut.
Right. So I was a little nervous about that. I was like, I don't know if I wanna. But it was just clear as day. Yeah. You know what I mean? So after he told me that story, I was like, okay. So then it was on Labor Day. I called him. I said, yo, he was the first person cast officially. I called him. I said, yo, how you feel about playing Andre? He said, yo, for real? No. Oh, that's another thing too. He also kept reiterating. He was like, yo, whatever you need,
I appreciate that.
Whatever you need, I'm there. If you need to volunteer, if you need relines, whatever you need, I just want to be a part of it. So that's the end. That's what I want. That's what we need a part of this. You know what I'm saying?
Because you can't buy enthusiasm.
No. So Labor Day came. I called him. I was at my sister's crib too. I called him. I said, yo, how you feel about playing this role? He said, yo, for real? I said, yeah, man. So that's how that happened. And then from there, you know, I just kind of went about things the same way. I mean, you know, the girl playing Nefertiti, she auditioned and her auditions were great. The girl playing Corey, I've known Akilah for a while. We've known each other since we were probably like 18, 19 years old because she went to school out here. But she kind of surprised me with her tape. I was not expecting that. Not to say that she's bad, but I didn't have her in mind for this role at all. And then she hit me, she's like, yo, I want to audition. I said, all right, sure. I saw her tape and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah. Ain't that
a good ass tape. And she came from LA. You know what I mean? She didn't even come for the callback. She came out of, I booked her off the tape. I said, I love it. She really understood the rhythm and the dialogue. When you watch it tonight, like there's a rhythm in the dialogue. You know what I'm saying? That's because there's a rhythm in how we speak. Black people, you know what I mean? We musical. You know what I'm saying?
I love that she said that because it's so true.
Yes.
Just by nature.
By nature. So once I saw that tape, I was like, absolutely. Brody, fantastic actor. He came about because the guy I had originally was unable to do it, but you know, he did a beautiful thing. He was like, look, I can't do it, you know, due to the circumstances, but I got somebody who could do it. I said, really? Because that's a hard role to cast. Yeah. When you see it's a very nuanced role. It can't just be general and it can't just be anybody. So I was like, okay, who's this person? So he sent the tape. I loved the tape. Callback happened. Callback was great. I said, all right, cool. I said, because then also sometimes things feel too easy.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was like, ain't no way I already, like, ain't no way he literally just blessed me like, yo, I can't do it, but he can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it worked.
And it worked out. So that's how the cast came together. We got a beautiful cast, y'all. Beautiful cast. You know what I mean? That's also something that mattered to me too. It had to feel cohesive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted it to feel, you know.
Has to feel real.
Yeah, absolutely.
Has to feel real. So what are you excited for the audience to experience or to take away from this show?
That's a great question. I want people to feel inspired. Like that's like the biggest thing for me. You know what I mean? I want somebody to come and see this and be like, yo, if he could do that, I could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he could write about his life and be as specific and that raw, I can too. Like, we don't have to, you know, feed into these cookie cutter stereotype, you know, like we come in all kind of different flavors. You know what I'm saying? And I want people to feel inspired to be able to express themselves however they see fit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want people to be inspired.
I love that because your individual story is very specific, but Spades is very universal to us. Yes. So like juxtaposing those two things, I think that's really special that you've been able to accomplish.
Absolutely. And guess what? It's literally the first of its kind. I don't know any other play that's based off of a game of Spades.
Yeah, it's like shockingly.
Here I am, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like you would think because it's such, you know what I'm saying? But no.
So, I've seen plenty of blackjack movies. I'm just saying.
Yes.
So we got Spades, and then what's next?
Oh, that's a good question. One of my producers on another project we got coming, and this is something I'll be in, but I'm a part of the creative team. It's called Year the Dog.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
okay. Is this based off like Chinese New Year?
Yes, it is. Okay. We call it Year of the Dog because it was the Year of the Dog when we came up with the idea. I was in LA. Me and Evan, we were in LA, and we for some reason looked up what the year was, and it was Year of the Dog, and he was literally like, "That'd be a good movie." I was like, yo, that would be a good movie.
That's a strong ass title.
Exactly.
I feel like you almost got to work backwards and write a book now. Too. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you. But also too that because we just shot that this summer. Because it started off as a film, and now, but we, over the years we decided that now it's a television pilot.
Okay, serialize it. Yeah.
Exactly. So because we feel like it'll be stronger for this to live as a series. But yeah, no, we shot it this summer. That was also something that kind of was years in the making. We started working on that in 2000 and when we started working on that. We started working on that maybe like in 2020. The idea was born in 2018, but then we didn't really start like really into the nitty gritty. Shout out to Malcolm, he's one of our writers. The idea didn't really sink in until probably like 2021. He joined the team and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna just bang out a script." It's like, all right, cool. So, at first it was him and I working on the script. Then he just kind of took over, and then once we started filming it, our director Steven Small Warner, Steve, shout out to you, bro. He's our director. He also came in and helped with the script as well. But this is also something, if I told you the story about how I met Steve and how we ended up working, that's a story.
It's another one of those.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing happens overnight, y'all. I know Instagram makes it seem that way.
And nothing happens by accident.
That part too. I know Instagram makes it seem like it does, but it doesn't. Look at this. This happened today, took 10 years. 10 years. 10 years for me to
They say it takes 10 years to become an overnight success.
Yes.
Right? It's like, it's all that happens in the background. When you're working late, when you're waking up early, when you can't pay for this, when you break down this, like, it's a lot.
Right.
And all people see is that you're on the red carpet.
Right, exactly. But here's the thing too, you gotta be willing to make that sacrifice. You have to be willing to take a leap. It's scary, it's hard, but nothing worth having is easy to acquire.
The payoff is huge.
Absolutely.
But you gotta put in that work.
You have to. It doesn't work any other way. It just doesn't. Like nothing comes